right, take your knees to the floor. Turn to the right knee and point your right toes behind, so spin on the right knee, left foot flat on the floor, left hand up to the ceiling. Squeeze your hips through, push your hips through, use your glutes, and then press down into your right shoulder from the upper back. Try to lengthen your right side out by pushing into your left heel with your glutes. From your glutes, you're extending the hip more and pushing your right side forward more. Modified side plank. Take your left hand back down to the floor and spin back to face forward in table. Left knee, spin on your left knee, right foot comes back. Press your hips through, squeeze your left glutes this time to push your left hip through, and then your right glutes push down through the right heel to take your left side longer forward. Zip your ribs in so it's not so much of a back bend. You can look down or up. And then come back to the floor. Table. Knees open, big toes touch, hips to heels, forehead on the floor. Balasana, child's pose. And back up, inhale, tabletop pose. Plant your toes, toe pads under, plank. And then turn to the outside of your right foot and step your left foot up under the knee. You're gonna push your right hip down as you lift your outer right ankle up. And then if you need the left foot on the floor, just walk your foot out so the heel is under your knee and your hips are minimally twisting. Look up to the ceiling, lengthen your head back so your chest can move forward, and left hand up. Pinch the mat with your index finger and thumb, and again, try not to round out your bottom side here. So press the right side forward by pushing back with the inner right heel. Your inner right heel is trying to stand on the floor without actually doing it. Left hand down, left foot back, right into tabletop pose. Sit back, child's pose. Inhale back up to table. Plank. Outer left foot. Right foot steps up. If you want the heel off the floor, the ball of your foot under your right knee. If you want your heel on the floor, move your foot forward so your heel is underneath your knee. Pull the outer left ankle up and push your outer left hip down. So you should be squeezing between the two. And they're kind of resisting each other. Your right hand can stay on your hip for now. You can look up just to challenge the balance. The right hand reaching helps to counterbalance that weight shift. Push down into your left hand. I'm way too far forward over my wrist with my shoulder, so my left shoulder should be back slightly. Keep pushing the inner left heel down, squeezing your inner thighs together, and keep the right hip pointing up to the ceiling. So not turning the right hip back. And that should help fire up the obliques, those muscles back here. And exhale. Right hand down, knees down, child's pose. Table, inhale, down dog, exhale. Feet together, plank pose. Squeeze your ankles, squeeze your big toes. Turn it over. Vasisthasana, side plank. Keep both soles of the feet pressing out. So pull the pinky toe sides of each foot back towards their respective outer knee. Push the mat away with your right hand, almost like you can press your mat forward. Push the right hip down. Lift your outer right ankle and squeeze the two front hip bones together so the hips don't turn back. Vasisthasana. Plank pose, downward facing dog. Feet back together. Squeeze whatever can touch. If your ankles don't touch, fine, but you're squeezing in. Squeezing together, hugging the midline, forward, heels back and down. Squeeze again, the big toes toward each other and the pinky toes away from each other. Like your pinky toes are trying to meet on the big toe surface of your foot, on the top toenail surface of your foot. Lift your outer left ankle, press the left hip down, and then again, try not to let your right hip spin back. Look up to make sure your right arm isn't spinning back. Push from your left shoulder blade. Plank, down dog. Knees down, sit back, Virasana. Vajrasana, I'm sitting on my heels, so this is Vajrasana. Virasana, you can sit between your heels. Any seated position that just gives you a moment to rest your wrists, calm your shoulders, and calm your breath. Come out to the tabletop. Tuck toes, down dog. Pinch the mat, index finger and thumb. Left leg inhale, lift it up. Come forward into one leg plank. Turn the outer right heel down, left foot behind. Wild thing, press your hips up, lift your left heel. And then lower your hips down, look back to your right thumb, squeeze your inner thighs, lift your left leg back up, inhale. Turn your right heel out. Take your left leg on top of your right leg, side plank. 3-leg dog, back up. Come to plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Child's pose or Virasana, Vajrasana. Sit for a moment. Right, tabletop, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift your right leg, inhale. Come into a one-leg plank, turn to the outer left foot, bend your right knee, land on your right toes. Press your hips through and up. Wild thing. Lower your hips back down, look back over to your left hand, turn back over, 3-leg dog, inhale. Side plank. Turn to the outer left foot and squeeze those legs together. Zip up with your tailbone, or in with your tailbone, up with your pubic bone. So you're not tucking your tailbone, but you're lengthening both front and back of the body. Good, come back over, 3-leg dog, stretch it out, and then back down, downward facing dog. Come in, knees to table, and sit back, hips to heels.